Good evening, it's Facebook Love, number 166, 7+ months into our living with a pandemic. 4 years since our last presidential election, 1 week away from that. Thank God. Today, I really just want to read poems that make me feel the way poetry makes me feel in general. Sometimes I think of it as the before times. And if things go well, perhaps we'll have the after times soon. The first one is very beautiful, and it's been quite popular recently. This is a poem by Bernadette Noll titled, "I Want to Age Like Seaglass." I want to age like seaglass, smoothed by tides, not broken. I want the currents of life to toss me around, shake me up, and leave me feeling washed clean. I want my hard edges to soften as the years pass, made not weak, but supple. I want to ride the waves, go with the flow, feel the impact of the surging tides rolling in and out. When I am thrown against the shore and caught between the rocks and a hard place, I want to rest there until I can find the strength to do what is next. Not stuck, just waiting, pondering, feeling what it feels like to pause. And when I am ready, I will catch a wave and let it carry me along to the next place that I am supposed to be. I want to be picked up on occasion by an unsuspected soul and carried along, just for the connection, just for the sake of appreciation and wonder. And with each encounter, new possibilities of a collaboration are presented, and new ideas are born. I want to age like seaglass so that when people see the old woman I'll become, they'll embrace all that I am. They'll marvel at my exquisite nature, hold me gently in their hands, and be awed by my well-earned patina. Neither flashy nor dull, just a perfect luster. And they'll wonder, if just for a second, what it is exactly I am made of, and how I got to this very here and now. And we'll both feel lucky to be in that perfectly right place, at that profoundly right time. I want to age like seaglass. I want to enjoy the journey and let my preciousness be, not in spite of the impacts of life, but because of them, by Bernadette Noll. I want to age like seaglass. Here is a couple more. These are sort of short. The first one is titled Poetry by Don Paterson. It's a little dark. In the same way that the mindless diamond keeps one spark of the planet's early fires trapped forever in its net of ice, it's not love's later heat that poetry holds, but the atom of the love that drew it forth from the silence. So if the bright coal of his love begins to smolder, the poet hears his voice suddenly forced, like a barroom singer's, boastful with his own huge feeling, or drowned by violins. But if it yields a steadier light, he knows the pure verse, when it finally comes, will sound like a mountain spring, anonymous and serene. Beneath the blue, oblivious sky, the water sings of nothing, not your name, nor mine. Poetry by Don Paterson. Here's one that makes me smile a bit. This one is by Elizabeth Holmes, titled The Fathers. And she gives a small note. Captain Hook and Mr. Darling are traditionally played by the same actor. Something's familiar about that villain striding the deck of the Jolly Roger, chest puffed out under that fancy jabot. A bit like, yes, like father, huffing around before an evening out, proper shirt front outthrust by an important bay window, particular about his cufflinks, as a pirate about lace at his wrists. Same air of dashing yet dastardly middle age, a penchant for issuing orders and threats, and tying up uncooperative dogs or Indian princesses. No wonder we sons and daughters laugh when Hook sits on that hot toadstool under Peter's chimney, when Tinker Bell flits out of his grasp, and especially at his slapstick flailing through the sea, pursued by that confident, long-jawed beast, time ticking loud in its belly. The Fathers by Elizabeth Holmes. It's going to be a dramatic week. Poetry and singing and dancing and a beautiful sense of humor are needed. If you haven't voted, get out there and vote as hard as you can. And for those wondering, our son has been home since Friday, and he is getting better and stronger each day. Thank goodness it wasn't COVID-19. And thank goodness for beautiful doctors and hospitals. And that's it. This is Facebook Love. I'll see you again. Vote hard.